Chosen one. This is why you can't be around too many people. Spiritual truth you must know. Your vibe attracts your tribe. This timeless saying carries deep spiritual truth, especially for those who are chosen. If you've ever felt drained after being around too many people, or if your energy shifts depending on the room you walk into, this video is for you. On Spiritual Wisdom, we uncover why your soul feels the need to retreat and why protecting your energy isn't isolation, it's elevation. Being chosen means your spirit operates at a higher frequency, and not everyone is meant to be in your space. As you watch, reflect on how these insights apply to your life and ask yourself, who truly deserves access to your energy? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if this resonates with your journey toward personal growth and spiritual happiness. Let's dive in. 1. You are divinely chosen and set apart for a sacred mission. You are not here by accident. You've been divinely chosen and set apart for something far greater than the ordinary. Your soul was not designed to fit into the noise and distractions of this world. From the beginning, there's been something different about you, an unshakable inner knowing that your life carries purpose, that your presence shifts atmospheres, and that your spiritual journey cannot be compared to those around you. You were not made to follow the crowd. You were born to lead others out of it. Your path is not one of comfort. It is one of awakening. This is why you feel so deeply. This is why certain environments overwhelm you, why you've never been able to tolerate meaningless conversations or shallow connections. Your energy is sacred. Your spirit is tuned to a higher frequency. You carry a spiritual assignment to disrupt what keeps people asleep, to guide others toward truth, and to protect the divine light that burns within you. The people around you may never fully understand the weight you carry, but that does not make your mission any less real. You can't be around too many people because your energy absorbs everything. You feel what others suppress. You sense what they ignore. And too much exposure to the wrong energies can leave you feeling drained, anxious, or confused, not because you're weak, but because your spiritual sensitivity is part of your gift. This sensitivity is your compass, guiding you away from what is misaligned and toward what is holy. God has intentionally created this distance to protect your clarity and preserve your power. The crowd clouds your connection to the divine, but solitude sharpens it. Many don't realize that spiritual awakening often begins with separation. In the quiet, God speaks. In isolation, your purpose unfolds. That's why your seasons of being alone are not empty. They are sacred. These are the moments where your gifts are activated, where divine instructions are given, and where your soul remembers its assignment. Even Jesus withdrew to lonely places to pray before stepping into his greatest miracles. Your isolation is not punishment. It is preparation. You've always sensed that you were different, not just in personality, but in essence. You see through things. You feel the truth beneath the surface. You have the ability to detect when someone's spirit is in pain, even when their words pretend otherwise. This is not random. It's not burdensome. It's divine intelligence working through you. You were chosen to be a vessel of light, and the weight of that calling demands a level of protection, discernment, and discipline that others simply may never understand. You're not meant to be available to everyone. You're meant to be aligned with purpose. So if you felt misunderstood, distant, or alone, remember, That's exactly how chosen ones are prepared. You are not losing connections. You are shedding illusions. You are not being forgotten. You are being focused. Your journey is sacred. Your sensitivity is strength. And your separation is the birthplace of your awakening. Comment below. I am chosen for a higher purpose. Let this be your declaration of faith and alignment. Your light is needed now more than ever. 2. Your isolation is divine protection, not punishment. The isolation you feel is not a punishment, it is divine strategy. You have been set apart, not cast aside. The moments of loneliness, the silences that echo louder than any crowd, the distance you feel from others, these are not signs of rejection. They are signs of protection. When God calls someone into something great, He often removes them from the noise of the world so He can speak clearly to their soul. Just like Moses spent years in the wilderness before becoming a leader, just like Elijah withdrew to hear the whisper of God, and just like Jesus fasted alone for 40 days before beginning His ministry, your isolation is not random. It is sacred preparation. You carry a spiritual frequency that is rare. Your energy is not meant to be diluted by everyone's presence. There is something in you that reacts deeply to noise, chaos, and spiritual misalignment. You were never meant to fit in with the crowd. That sense of not belonging was never a flaw. It was a signal, a divine signal that your mission is different. Your calling cannot survive in just any environment. The Most High has placed a boundary around you because your soul is valuable, and not every person is meant to have access to your spirit. Being around too many people can blur your clarity. Their energies, doubts, distractions, and fears can begin to interfere with your spiritual channel. That's why you often feel exhausted after certain interactions. That's why you find peace in solitude and wisdom in stillness. You are not antisocial. You are divinely reserved. In this space of separation, something powerful is happening. Your vision is being sharpened. Your discernment is growing stronger. Your sensitivity is becoming your compass, guiding you through a world that often numbs itself to avoid awakening. This season of silence is where your true identity is being revealed. You are learning not just to hear God, but to trust what you hear. You are learning to walk in faith without needing applause. You are being trained to carry weight in the spiritual realm. Not everyone can handle the fire you're walking through. Not everyone can understand the depth of your inner world. And that's okay. You weren't created for the masses. You were created for divine impact. The Most High hides those He values. He conceals greatness until the right moment. So if you feel hidden, unseen, or misunderstood, know this: you are in God's hands, not forgotten, but protected. He is preserving you for a purpose that will unfold at the appointed time. Let this season stretch you. Let it teach you to hear without noise, to see without distraction, and to lead without needing to be followed. Your spirit is not weak for needing space. It is strong for being tuned into something higher. This is the sacred training ground of the chosen ones. And what is being built in you during this time will sustain you when the spotlight comes. Because when you emerge, you will not need validation. You will walk in spiritual authority, fully aware that your separation was never meant to break you. It was meant to build you. Are you starting to see your solitude as sacred? If so, comment below. My isolation is divine protection. To affirm your trust in God's higher plan and your readiness for this season of spiritual refinement. 3. You carry a rare frequency that doesn't align with the masses. Your energy is sacred, finely tuned to a higher spiritual frequency that naturally places you at odds with the collective vibration of the masses. This misalignment isn't a flaw. It's confirmation of your divine design. When you step into a crowded or chaotic environment, your spirit can sense everything. The unspoken emotions, the suppressed pain, the energy that others aren't even aware they carry. You don't just walk into a room. Your presence shifts the atmosphere. And that shift often makes others uncomfortable. Not because you intend to, but because your vibration exposes what's hidden. You carry light, and light always disrupts darkness. This is why your interactions drain you. You might leave gatherings feeling physically tired or emotionally heavy, even if nothing dramatic happened. That's spiritual exhaustion. Your system is absorbing and responding to the frequency mismatch all around you. You're not imagining it. You're not being overly sensitive. You're simply tuned in to a level that others are not, and that makes ordinary social spaces feel spiritually overwhelming. What's happening is this. Your energy field is doing spiritual work in real-time cleansing, sensing, discerning, and that work comes with a cost when you're surrounded by low vibrations. You weren't made to blend in. You were created to awaken, and with that comes a level of spiritual separation that others may never understand. God often isolates those He has chosen not to punish them, but to prepare them. The solitude you experience is sacred space for refinement, for downloading divine wisdom, for building the strength you'll need to carry out your mission. Just as Moses had to go up the mountain alone, just as David was hidden in the fields, just as Jesus withdrew to pray, you too are being set apart. It's spiritual preservation, not rejection. You're not here to connect with everyone. You are here to impact the right ones. That requires discernment. Not every handshake is meant to turn into a bond. Not every conversation deserves your energy. Your presence is a spiritual experience. Treat it with the same reverence God does. And when your soul feels uneasy around certain people, trust that. That's not paranoia. It's divine protection alerting you to misaligned energy. Think of yourself as a sacred frequency. In the wrong environment, your vibration gets distorted. But in the right atmosphere, you can heal, inspire, and lead. That's why your circle must be chosen with precision. Surround yourself with those who honor your peace, not those who provoke your pain. Move with spiritual awareness. Carry your light boldly. And know that just because your path is narrow doesn't mean it's wrong. It means it's divinely designed. You are not antisocial. You are not cold. You are spiritually aware in a world that numbs itself to truth. Your boundaries are not walls. They are spiritual filters. You are not meant to resonate with everyone because you were born to raise the vibration of those who are ready. And until that alignment happens, continue walking in sacred separation, knowing that your energy is not only rare, it's anointed. Do you feel the weight of your unique energy? If this message resonates with your soul, affirm it now in the comments. I carry a rare frequency, and I stand in my truth. 4. Your empathic sensitivity is a spiritual superpower. Your empathic sensitivity is not a weakness. It is your divine design. As a chosen one, you are spiritually awakened to perceive beyond the surface, to feel the energies and emotions that others overlook. You don't just hear words, you hear intentions. You don't just see people, You feel their spiritual state. This heightened sensitivity isn't just a trait, it's a calling. You are meant to read atmospheres, discern truth in silence, and bring light into spiritually dark places. But with this calling comes responsibility. You cannot walk through this world without boundaries and expect to thrive. Everywhere you go, energy is exchanged. Most people walk through life unaware of the weight they carry, emotional baggage, spiritual chaos, suppressed pain. But you feel it all. And when you don't protect your space, you begin to absorb it. Their heaviness becomes your fatigue. Their confusion becomes your clouded mind. Their anxiety, your unrest. That's why you often feel emotionally drained after conversations or time spent in crowds. It's not in your head, it's spiritual. Your empathy allows you to pick up what others project, even when they don't mean to. It's a silent transaction, one your soul registers, even when your mind cannot explain it. This is why spiritual boundaries are essential. Without them, your gift becomes a burden. Boundaries are not barriers to love. They are doors of discernment. You're not pushing people away. You're preserving what's sacred. Imagine your energy as a sacred flame. Without protection, that flame flickers in every wind. But when guarded, it becomes a steady fire, warming, guiding, healing. You were never meant to be accessible to everyone. You were meant to be available to the right ones, at the right time, led by divine alignment. You've probably wondered why you crave solitude more than others, why loud rooms exhaust you, why you can feel people's motives before they speak. It's because you are tuned to a higher spiritual frequency. In silence, you recharge. In solitude, your gifts sharpen. When you pull away, it's not isolation, it's restoration. That inner voice prompting you to retreat isn't weakness, it's divine instruction. Your spiritual awakening isn't just about awareness, it's about alignment. You are being aligned with your mission, and part of that mission is protecting your energy so that you can serve from overflow, not depletion. Many chosen ones go years believing they are broken or overly sensitive. But what feels like a flaw is actually a favor. Sensitivity without boundaries leads to burnout. But sensitivity with wisdom leads to spiritual mastery. You are not here to carry everyone's pain. You are here to reflect truth, hold presence, and guide others toward their own awakening. That requires clarity, and clarity requires space. Honor your calling by protecting your light. Guard your peace like the treasure it is. Your spiritual sensitivity is your compass. It tells you who is safe, where peace lives, and when to walk away. Trust it, develop it, respect it. This is not weakness. This is sacred awareness. You are chosen, and your sensitivity is proof. If this message resonates with your soul, affirm your gift by commenting, "My empathic sensitivity is my spiritual superpower. I protect my energy and walk for divine purpose." 5. Solitude is where divine wisdom and clarity are revealed. Solitude is not loneliness. It is spiritual preparation. When you're called away from people, places, and noise, it's not because something is wrong with you. It's because your spirit is being refined in ways the crowd can't understand. Crowded spaces blur your vision, not just physically, but spiritually. The more noise surrounds you, the harder it is to hear divine instruction. That's why those who are chosen are often pulled into isolation, not as punishment, but as a sacred realignment. In silence, your soul remembers what your mind often forgets. That clarity lives in stillness, and direction is born in divine quiet. The presence of too many people can cause spiritual interference. Every person carries an energy field, and when you are sensitive, when you're spiritually awakened, you feel everything. That sensitivity is a gift, not a burden. It's what allows you to detect lies in truth's clothing, to sense danger in comfort, and to feel purpose in moments others dismiss as ordinary. But if you're constantly surrounded by emotional chaos and unaligned frequencies, your spiritual perception dulls. That's why you're being called to step back not forever, but long enough to be sharpened. You can't hear heaven clearly with everyone else's voice in your head. In this sacred retreat, your discernment matures. You begin to recognize the difference between a divine connection and a draining attachment. You notice how certain conversations leave your spirit heavy, and how certain people seem allergic to your growth. You're no longer available for the things that rob you of peace. You start protecting your energy like it's sacred, because it is. Your solitude becomes your sanctuary. Your stillness becomes your power. And your silence becomes the space where God whispers instructions that the world cannot give you. This is not new. Every chosen soul in history has been called into the wilderness. Moses climbed the mountain alone. Jesus withdrew to pray. Elijah hid by the brook. Why? Because divine revelation doesn't come through distraction, it comes through devotion. When you remove yourself from noise, from opinions, from pressure, you open yourself to downloads of divine strategy. You begin to see what others can't. You begin to understand what others doubt. You begin to walk in the truth that sets you apart. The clarity you receive in solitude becomes your spiritual compass in a world ruled by illusions. In a society obsessed with external validation, your separation teaches you to value divine affirmation. When others chase the spotlight, you find strength in the shadows. You learn that spiritual wisdom isn't loud, it's precise. And when it speaks, it cuts through confusion like a sword. That's what makes your path different. That's why you can't be around too many people. Not because you're better, but because you're built for something higher. Leave a like and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss content that strengthens your spiritual clarity and purpose. Type in the comments, "I receive divine clarity in solitude," if you're ready to embrace the wisdom that silence reveals. 6. Divine timing governs your life, not the world's schedule. You are not delayed, you are divinely aligned. Every so-called setback in your life, every person who suddenly disappeared, every opportunity that seemed to slip through your fingers was not a mistake. It was spiritual precision. Divine timing is not random, and it's certainly not based on the world's pressure to hurry up or keep up. You are not on the world's schedule. You are on heaven's clock. There's a reason the doors closed. There's a reason that relationship ended. There's a reason things didn't move forward when you wanted them to. Divine timing filters every connection, every step, every transition, so that when you do step into your purpose, you are fully prepared, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. What you may see as rejection is actually protection. What feels like delay is divine development. Heaven doesn't waste time. It uses it to prepare you. The people who walked away weren't meant to stay. The conversations that never happened weren't meant to. The path that fell apart wasn't strong enough to carry your calling. Chosen ones are set apart for a reason. You cannot afford to be entangled with people or plans that are not spiritually aligned with your assignment. That's why disconnections happen, not because you are unworthy, but because the divine is clearing space for something far greater. When the pruning happens, it can feel like isolation. But even Jesus went into the wilderness before stepping into his public mission. The hidden seasons are not punishment, they are preparation. This is when your roots grow deep. This is when your spiritual discernment sharpens. This is when your spirit learns how to move without needing constant validation or companionship. If you feel like you're walking alone right now, understand this. Heaven is building your strength in silence so you don't crumble under the weight of your future blessing. Divine timing is not just about waiting, it's about transformation. While you're waiting, you're also being refined. You're being humbled, taught, strengthened, and aligned. The version of you that prayed for the promise is not always the version that can carry it. That's why the process is necessary. God's not just answering your prayers, He's preparing you to hold them without breaking. It may look like nothing's happening on the surface, but deep down, everything is shifting. Spiritual alignment is taking place in realms you cannot yet see. So if life seems slower than you expected, or more quiet than you hoped, don't rush to fill the silence. Don't chase people who walked away. Don't force open doors that were meant to stay shut. Trust the spiritual flow of divine timing. What's meant for you won't miss you, but only if you're willing to surrender to the timing that heaven has designed. You are not missing your moment. You're being prepared to meet it fully equipped with spiritual strength, clarity, and unwavering faith. If you're still here with us, it means you're aligned with a higher rhythm. Comment below, "I trust divine timing," to affirm your faith in heaven's perfect plan. Your voice matters. It helps us connect and grow this spiritual community together. 7. You are set apart to lead, not to be understood. You are set apart to lead, not to be understood. That's why your journey often feels lonely, and your presence is often misunderstood. You are not here to be part of the noise. You were born to be the silence that speaks volumes. You were designed as a spiritual lighthouse, meant to shine even when no one acknowledges your light. And though others may not see what you carry, heaven does. Your spiritual awakening did not come to make you popular. It came to make you purposeful. You don't walk the narrow path because it's comfortable. You walk it because your soul has been assigned to something sacred. You are not called to be liked. You're called to be aligned with truth, with integrity, with divine wisdom. That's why you feel out of place in certain rooms. That's why conversations that used to interest you now feel shallow. You are growing into your assignment, and growth often looks like separation. The more your spirit matures, the less space there is for what no longer fits. They may call you distant, but you're actually discerning. They may think you're cold, but you're simply protecting your fire. Every chosen one comes to a point where being around too many people doesn't feel right anymore, not because you're better, but because your energy is being refined. Clarity comes in stillness. Revelation comes in solitude. And you cannot afford to lose your connection to God by being too accessible to the crowd. Your presence is powerful, and your aura is sacred. It needs protection, not constant exposure. Leadership is not about commanding a room. It's about commanding your spirit. You are being shaped in the background, so you can lead with grace in the spotlight. You are being stripped of distractions so your spirit can grow sharper, more anchored in divine direction. This spiritual awakening you're going through, it's not just a phase, it's a rebirth. Your old self was liked by the world. Your new self is aligned with the divine. This is why the people you once felt close to can no longer reach you. You vibrate on a different frequency now. Your discernment is sharper, your vision clearer. And yes, this transformation comes with loss. But what you're losing in comfort, you're gaining in clarity. What you're releasing in popularity, you're receiving in power. The chosen are not chosen for applause, they are chosen for assignment. Every moment you feel misunderstood is confirmation that you're walking a higher path. Every season of isolation is evidence that heaven is working on you. When others walk away, it's not rejection, it's realignment. You weren't called to fit in. You were called to guide others out. And guiding requires vision. Vision requires silence. Silence requires spiritual maturity. So continue forward, not for validation, but for purpose. Your spiritual awakening has marked you, matured you, and molded you into a vessel for something greater than self. You are not waiting to be seen. You are being prepared to be revealed. To affirm your divine calling and leadership, declare your purpose with boldness. Comment below. I was set apart to lead, to honor your sacred path, and inspire others to rise in their spiritual mission. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a message meant for your journey. Thank you for watching this powerful message on why chosen ones often feel the need to separate themselves from the crowd. Sometimes, your soul knows what your mind can't explain, and that inner nudge to pull away is part of your divine protection and purpose. Remember, solitude isn't loneliness, it's preparation. You're not being isolated, you're being aligned. If this message spoke to your spirit, don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to Spiritual Wisdom. Make sure to turn on the notification bell so you never miss a moment of truth, insight, and spiritual awakening. Your journey is sacred. Walk it with wisdom. You are not human, and you never were. You, Chuck's soul. Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us." Think about that for a moment. What if everything you think you are, your body, your mind, your identity, is merely the surface of your true essence? Here at Spiritual Wisdom, we explore the reality that you are not your body. You are the soul, a timeless consciousness temporarily experiencing human life. So, are you ready to go beyond the illusion and connect with your true nature? Drop a comment below and share your thoughts on this transformative journey. What resonates with you? And if you're eager to dive deeper, remember to like, subscribe, and join our community for more soul-expanding content. Let's awaken to the truth of who we really are. 1. Your true identity is the soul. At the heart of your existence lies a spiritual truth so profound, it challenges everything the world has told you about who you are. Beneath the surface of appearances, beneath the labels father, husband, leader, provider, there is an essence untouched by time. That essence is your soul. When you stop identifying with only your physical body and the titles given by society, You begin to awaken to a truth far greater. You are not the car you drive. You are not the career you built. You are the awareness that experiences those things. This realization is not just freeing, it's transformational. It shifts your entire foundation from outer validation to inner truth. The world has taught us to chase. We pursue success, recognition, possessions, believing they will fill the quiet ache inside. And yet, even when those goals are achieved, something still feels missing. That emptiness is the soul's call, asking to be remembered. Understanding that your core identity is the soul within liberates you from the invisible prison of external expectations. This spiritual insight allows you to redefine what success truly means, not as measured by status or wealth, but by how deeply your actions align with your soul's deepest values and purpose. A powerful metaphor captures this truth beautifully. Consider a tree. Its branches rise toward the heavens, but its true strength lies underground, in its deep roots. The same is true for you. The soul is your root system, your grounding force. To truly live, you must go inward. By nurturing this inner essence through spiritual practices like meditation, stillness, prayer, or mindful walks in nature, you deepen your connection to your soul. These moments of quiet are not wasted time. They are sacred appointments with your true self. They restore your clarity, sharpen your intuition, and build a resilience that no storm can shake. As you fully accept that you are a soul having a human experience, not a human trying to be spiritual, your entire life begins to change. Challenges no longer appear as punishments, but as invitations. Every hardship becomes a classroom. Every loss becomes a doorway to deeper wisdom. This spiritual lens reframes everything. You no longer ask, "Why is this happening to me?" but rather, "What is this trying to awaken in me?" When you begin living from soul awareness, life becomes more meaningful, more connected, more real. You move from survival to sacred purpose. Living from this awakened state encourages you to follow passions that align with your higher self. You begin to prioritize what feels right, not just what looks good on paper. And as you walk this path with authenticity, your relationships deepen. Your presence becomes magnetic. You attract others who are also awakening to their truth. A sense of community, of belonging, begins to emerge not because of shared hobbies, but because of shared frequency. Knowing that you are a soul, not merely flesh and bones, brings you home to yourself. It invites you to celebrate your unique gifts, to honor your journey, and to trust your inner compass. When you live from this spiritual center, life becomes less about control and more about co-creation. You begin to attract not just relationships, but soul connections. Not just opportunities, but soul-aligned missions. The more you nurture this essence, the more joy, fulfillment, and peace become your natural state. So, are you ready to remember who you truly are? Are you ready to live not just as a man in the world, but as a soul on a mission? If your heart whispered yes, then let that commitment be heard. Comment below, "I am a soul," and begin this sacred journey towards spiritual transformation and deeper purpose. Your soul has waited lifetimes for this moment. Don't let it pass you by. 2. The soul is eternal and beyond the body. What if everything you've believed about who you are, your name, your job, your body, even your memories, was never the full picture? What if the truth is far more profound and far more eternal? You are not human, and you never were. The body you're in, the roles you play, The situations you experience, these are all part of a temporary human journey. They're meaningful, yes, but they are not the essence of you. You are a soul, timeless, boundless, eternal. And no matter what happens in your physical world, your true self remains untouched, unchanged, and whole. Across ancient spiritual traditions, from Hinduism and Buddhism to the teachings of the mystics and philosophers of ancient Greece, there's one recurring truth. The soul is the real self. The body may change, suffer, age, or fade away, but the soul, it is constant, it is divine, and it's who you really are. These teachings weren't just poetic metaphors. They were roadmaps for living with deeper meaning, pointing us inward to discover the only part of ourselves that cannot be taken away. This shift in awareness is not just intellectual. It is deeply transformational. It leads to spiritual awakening, the moment when you stop identifying with the outer world and begin connecting with the truth within. And when that moment comes, it's like stepping out of a fog and realizing you've been home all along. In today's fast-paced, image-driven world, it's so easy to lose touch with your soul. Everywhere you look, there are messages telling you to measure your worth by your looks, your income, your status, or how many people know your name. But none of these things define your value. Because your value isn't earned, it simply is. You are worthy, just as you are, because you are soul. And when you awaken to that truth, something profound happens. You begin to live differently, more purposefully, more peacefully, more authentically. Seeing yourself as a soul changes everything, including how you face life's challenges. Suddenly, setbacks don't seem like failures. They become lessons. The pain, the confusion, the heartbreaks all serve a greater purpose. Your soul uses every experience as a way to grow, to evolve, to remember its divine nature. And when you view life from this higher lens, you move through it with a kind of strength and grace that can't be shaken by the storms of the world. You're no longer stuck in survival mode. You're aligned with your spiritual nature. You see the deeper meaning in everything, and you begin to live in harmony with the truth that you are not here just to survive. You're here to awaken. The moment you embrace this wisdom, you start to embody a powerful truth. You are not your body. You are not your mind. You are a soul having a human experience. And that simple yet profound realization changes the way you see the world. It opens your heart. It clears your mind. And it guides you back to your center. This is the essence of spiritual awakening. It's not about becoming something new. It's about remembering who you've always been. It's about reconnecting with your eternal self and living each day with deeper clarity, peace, and purpose. Not because everything around you is perfect, but because you no longer need it to be. So, if something within you feels stirred by this message, don't ignore it. Let it take root. Let it guide you deeper. And if it resonates with your soul, speak it out loud or write it in the comments. I am an eternal soul. Let that affirmation be more than words. Let it be a declaration, a turning point, a gentle reminder of the power and peace that already lives within you. 3. The levels of consciousness. This physical life, as real as it feels, is just a momentary stage, a brief chapter in the eternal book of your existence. The truth is, you are an infinite being. You were never just this body, these thoughts, or even your emotions. You are the observer behind all of it. And once you start remembering that, everything changes. Most people begin their journey locked in what's called the ego state, a deeply conditioned form of consciousness where we identify ourselves only as the physical body and the mind. In this state, everything feels separate. There's me and you. There's right and wrong. There's a constant inner struggle, a never-ending desire to protect our identity, to be seen, to be right, to be safe. But here's the key. You are not your thoughts. You are not your emotions. You are not your pain or your past. You are the awareness that sees all of those things. Have you ever stopped and observed your own thoughts, just watch them float by like clouds in the sky? That's the beginning of your spiritual awakening. As the philosopher Pierre Teilhard de Chardin once said, we are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. This shift in perspective, realizing that you're the witness behind your mind, marks the first major step toward reclaiming your true nature. And from there, it only deepens. As your consciousness expands, you enter what's often called the observer state. You begin to detach from the chaos of the mind. You start to ask deeper questions. Who am I beyond this body? Why am I here? What is the true nature of reality? Have you ever asked those questions? As your awareness grows, you start to experience what many call unity consciousness, a state where the illusion of separation fades away. In this space, you feel deeply connected to everything. You see yourself in the trees, the stars, the animals, even in people you used to judge. Love flows naturally. Compassion becomes your language. You no longer seek meaning, you become it. And beyond even that is what mystics and sages have called cosmic consciousness, a level of awareness where you transcend time, space, identity, and fully merge with the divine. It's the realization that you are not in the universe. You are the universe, experiencing itself in human form. Just sit with that for a moment. How does it make you feel? The journey isn't always easy. Awakening can shake your foundations, but it is the most sacred path you will ever walk. Because the moment you stop identifying with the temporary and start living as your eternal soul, life transforms. Fear fades, peace rises, and you begin to live from truth. So, let me ask you this. What would your life look like if you fully remembered who you are? What would change if you stopped chasing and started being? This is your invitation to go deeper, to awaken further, and to step into the knowing that you are more than human. You are a soul. You are infinite. You are free. 4. Detachment from the temporary. Recognizing the soul as our true essence is the beginning of true spiritual awareness. This isn't just a poetic notion, it's a radical shift in identity. From the moment we are born, society teaches us to define ourselves by our appearance, our successes, our failures, and even by our emotional reactions. But all of these are impermanent. The body ages, thoughts change, and emotions rise and fall like waves. These experiences, while very real, are not who we are. They are simply the containers of experience, not the essence. Understanding this gives us spiritual clarity. When we begin to identify as the soul, pure awareness, pure consciousness, we become rooted in something that is beyond time, beyond form. The soul is untouched by the struggles we face on earth. Financial problems, heartbreaks, sickness, or even the chaos of the modern world, none of these can scar the soul. This realization is not just comforting, it's empowering. Because it means that no matter what you're going through right now, there's a deeper part of you that remains whole, steady, and at peace. This spiritual understanding brings a profound calm when we no longer identify with every emotion or thought that arises. We begin to live from a place of detachment, not to disconnect, but to observe with wisdom. Emotions like anger, fear, or sadness are no longer seen as personal attacks or failures. They are temporary states that pass through us, like weather passing over the sky. But the sky remains, and you are the sky, not the storm. This shift in awareness can completely transform how we live. Instead of reacting impulsively to life's challenges, we learn to respond from a place of stillness. Stress loses its grip. Anxiety fades. The pressure to constantly perform or prove ourselves weakens. Because when you truly know you are the soul, your worth is no longer dependent on anything outside of you. You become unshaken by the noise of the outer world because you've anchored yourself in the silence of the inner world. As spiritual beings having a human experience, not the other way around, we can move through life with greater compassion, resilience, and wisdom. We become less controlled by our past and less anxious about the future. We begin to trust the unfolding of life, knowing that our spirit is guided by a higher intelligence, one that always moves us toward growth, even through pain. This awareness doesn't mean life becomes easy, but it does become more meaningful. When a man realizes that he is not just flesh and bone, but eternal spirit, he walks differently. He listens more deeply. He lets go more quickly. He understands that nothing external can define his worth, because his soul is already complete. Let this be your reminder. You are not just a man navigating this world. You are a soul embodying wisdom, power, and divine purpose. And once you see yourself through this lens, nothing can stop your transformation. 5. The soul evolves through reincarnation. You are not human, and you never were. What you truly are is your soul. A boundless, eternal essence, here not for the sake of surviving, but for the sacred purpose of evolving. The human body? It's just the temporary garment you wear, the shell that helps you navigate this particular chapter in your soul's infinite story. But you, the real you, the consciousness behind the eyes, the energy that cannot be destroyed, that is the soul. That is your true nature. Your life isn't a random sequence of events. It's a carefully woven design, crafted with purpose and divine intelligence. The soul's journey is a continuous cycle of growth and transformation. Each lifetime you experience is not isolated or accidental. It is a sacred opportunity, a classroom for spiritual development. Life after life, you're not just moving through time. You're moving through levels of awareness, peeling back illusions, and returning to the deep knowing that you are already whole, already powerful, already divine. This is the essence of spiritual awakening, remembering that you are more than your name, your past, or even your personality. Awakening means breaking the illusion that this human life is all there is. You're not here for the first time. You're not starting from scratch. Your soul has been here before, walking different paths, meeting different faces, and learning different lessons. Reincarnation isn't just a concept, it's the soul's curriculum. Just like a student progresses from grade school to higher education, your soul moves from one incarnation to the next, learning what it came here to learn. And the lessons aren't random either. That difficult relationship you had, that betrayal, that heartbreak, that moment of unexpected peace or deep love wasn't a coincidence. These are soul contracts, agreements made before this lifetime to help you remember who you are and what you came here to master. Maybe you've come back to learn forgiveness, to embody compassion, or to develop patience. And these lessons don't always show up the way you expect. Sometimes they come through struggle. Sometimes they come through beauty. But always, they are tailor-made for your growth. Ever felt like you've known someone forever, even if you just met them? Or had a strong pull toward a place you've never been? These are the echoes of past lifetimes calling to you. Your soul remembers what your mind cannot. It's trying to guide you gently toward your higher purpose. You might find yourself repeating the same patterns, facing the same tests, until one day you awaken. You see the pattern and you choose differently. That's evolution. That's the soul breaking free from the cycle of unconsciousness and stepping into mastery. Spiritual awakening isn't about escaping the human experience. It's about honoring it. It's about seeing every experience, every failure, every joy, every tear as part of your sacred becoming. You're not here to be perfect. You're here to be real, raw, present, and open to the deep work of the soul. Life is not punishment. Life is initiation. So if something in you feels the truth of this, if your soul is nodding along in silent agreement, then trust that. Let it lead you. Because you're not alone on this journey. Countless others are waking up, remembering who they are, reclaiming their light. You are part of a rising wave of souls, returning to their original nature, divine, limitless, and deeply connected to all that is. Let's walk this path together, not as humans trying to have a spiritual experience, but as souls remembering that we were never just human in the first place. 6. Challenges are soul lessons. Have you ever wondered why certain experiences in life feel like they were meant to happen? Especially the difficult ones, the heartbreaks, the losses, the unexpected detours. What if I told you that these moments weren't mistakes, but rather divine invitations for your soul to evolve? You see, you are not just a human being going through temporary struggles. You are a soul, timeless, eternal, powerful. And the truth is, you never were just a human. The human body is simply the vessel, the container. The real you is spiritual, and your soul came here for one reason: growth. Every challenge you face, whether it's emotional pain, rejection, failure, or uncertainty, is not here to break you. It's here to shape you. These are not punishments from the universe, but sacred assignments from a higher consciousness. They are mirrors, reflecting areas within you that are ready to awaken. Can you look at your life and see where the lesson is trying to emerge? As the great Rumi once said, "The wound is the place where the light enters you." Think about that for a moment. What if the pain you've endured is actually the key to unlocking your highest potential? Now, let me ask you this. How do you respond when adversity hits? Do you shut down, or do you pause and ask yourself, what is this trying to teach me? Because the way you respond isn't just a reaction, it's the very thing that shapes your spiritual path. In every moment, you are either evolving or repeating. Which path will you choose? Spiritual wisdom teaches us that the universe is not working against us. It's always working for us, often in ways we can't immediately see. What appears as a breakdown is often the beginning of a breakthrough. Your soul chose this specific journey before you were even born. Every twist, every loss, every triumph, it's all part of a bigger design created to help you remember who you really are. And who are you? You are not the roles you play, not the job you have, not the pain you've been through. You are an infinite soul, having a temporary human experience here to awaken, to rise, and to return to the powerful truth of your divine essence. When you begin to view life through this spiritual lens, something shifts. Challenges no longer feel like punishments, but opportunities. Difficult people become teachers. Setbacks become sacred detours. And your hardships begin to reveal your deepest strength and spiritual resilience. The late Carl Jung once said, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." In other words, true awakening begins when we face the very things we've tried to avoid. That's how we grow. That's how we evolve. So if this message speaks to something deep inside of you, I invite you to continue this journey with me. Subscribe and stay connected as we explore how life's toughest moments can become doorways to profound spiritual awakening. Let's walk this path together hand in hand, spirit to spirit, discovering not just who we are, but who we were always meant to be. 7. Your soul is multidimensional. You are, and always have been, a soul, a boundless spiritual essence, beyond time, beyond space, and beyond this physical world. Today, we will delve into a truth that many sense but few dare to explore. You are a multidimensional being experiencing a temporary human being. And once you truly awaken to this, life will never be the same again. Let's get to your true nature. It is beyond flesh and blood, beyond the identity you have been shaped to believe is you. Your true nature is spirit. It transcends the physical body and expands into a vast, interconnected existence, far richer and more vast than what your eyes can see. What you call your soul is not just a vague idea or a poetic concept. It is the core of who you are. And what about this soul? It does not exist in just one lifetime or one version of this reality. No, it lives, breathes, and evolves across multiple dimensions, manifesting in multiple forms and realities at the same time. Although your conscious awareness is tied to this present life, your soul is not limited to it. Right now, at this very moment, your soul is experiencing other lives, perhaps in different times, different planets, or different forms entirely. These are not random events. Each of these soul manifestations contributes to your eternal journey, helping you evolve, awaken, and integrate spiritual wisdom on all planes of existence. Think of it as a tree with many branches. Each branch is a different life, but all stemming from the same root system of consciousness. Albert Einstein once said that energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be transformed. This idea holds a profound spiritual truth. Your soul is energy, infinite, indestructible, and eternal. When your body fades away, your soul does not end. It changes. It evolves. It moves through different realms and dimensions, continuing its journey, gaining experience, knowledge, and understanding. You do not end when you die. You expand. When you truly understand this, everything changes. You no longer see challenges as punishments or random misfortunes. Instead, they become stepping stones on a larger, multi-dimensional path, each one offering opportunities for growth, transformation, and spiritual evolution. This is why spiritual practices like meditation, mindfulness, and breathwork are so important. They help you tune into these higher aspects of your being, the parts of you that already know, that whisper truth through your intuition. and that gently guide you through the chaos of life. As you deepen your connection to this awareness, you begin to understand that you are not limited by the limits of time, space, or even logic. Your essence is infinite, your potential is limitless, and your higher self, the wisest, most expanded version of you, is always available, waiting for you to listen. When you choose to connect with that higher awareness, life doesn't just become better, it becomes meaningful. You begin to live with purpose, clarity, and power that comes not from your ego, but from your soul. So if this message resonates with you, if something inside you is nodding in acknowledgement, don't ignore it. That's your soul remembering the truth. Say it with conviction. I embrace my infinite self. Let that be your spiritual declaration that you are ready to rise, to awaken, and to live the truth of who you are. 8. The human life is a moment in the soul's journey. Your human experience is a fleeting moment within the vast journey of your soul, which is eternal and boundless. It may feel unfamiliar to consider that beneath your physical form, a deeper truth exists. The essence of your being goes far beyond your thoughts, emotions, or the roles you inhabit in daily life. Spiritual awakening is the process of remembering that your soul is your true identity, an essence untouched by the limitations of the physical world. Practices like meditation, journaling, and mindful reflection are powerful ways to reconnect with your soul's awareness. By silencing the mind, you tap into a state of peace, wisdom, and expansiveness that transcends the challenges and distractions of modern living. When you feel the weight of life's demands, pause and ask, who is experiencing this? Your soul is unaffected, remaining calm and infinite. This shift in perspective allows you to approach life's ups and downs with clarity and serenity, moving through them with the grace and insight of your soul's wisdom. The truth is simple. You are a soul navigating a temporary human experience. Reconnecting with this truth through spiritual practices empowers you to live with intention, peace, and alignment. Embrace your soul's perspective and watch your life transform. Let's walk this journey together. If this message resonates, comment, I meditate, to affirm your commitment to soul alignment. Remember to like, subscribe, and share this message to spread the light of spiritual awareness. Thank you for joining us on this soul-expanding journey. Remember, you are not just a human living a temporary life. You are an eternal soul experiencing a human journey. By shifting your perspective and connecting with this truth, you can transcend the limitations of your physical identity and embrace a life filled with deeper purpose, peace, and fulfillment. Take these principles and apply them to your daily life. Practice mindfulness, meditation, or moments of reflection to align with your soul's essence. As you do, you'll begin to see your challenges as opportunities for growth, and your relationships will deepen with authenticity. Are you ready to embrace the truth of your soul and live with greater intention? Comment, I am a soul below, and share your thoughts on your spiritual journey. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join the Spiritual Wisdom community for more insights into awakening your true self. Let's walk this path of transformation together.